Hey, what's up, Dean? State Performance. We are back at the shop. It's hot today, but working on David's OBS. I already got a bunch done. It's pretty much almost the end of the day, but I got the holly harness. You can kind of see the bundle of wire there. I fed it through the firewall. I already have it all connected. Pulled the fuel rail, put the spacers in the injector. I'll show that later. And I got to get spacers for under the rail. They're sitting it's probably about 1/4 of an inch spacer I need. So I added the knock sensors to both sides of the block, got that plugged in. Everything is plugged in. Crank sensors plugged in, cam sensors plugged in, all the injectors. Everything's plugged in. So now I started with the fuel pump wiring, and I already had the little pigtail made off the pump. So it looks like the camera's dirty. Wiping the camera. Yeah, it's so much better. So I attached the other end of the pigtail with the ground, which goes to the chassis ground for the pump, and then the fuel sender, I redid his wires. He had 2 red wires, so I redid it with a Deutsch connector. So right here, he could disconnect it, drop the tank, disconnect the fuel pump, take the pump off, whatever he needs to do there. And then ran in that loom is the positive for the pump and the fuel sender. And I got it ran up to right here in the loom, roughly. Then cool billet tray. Tried to put it inside, and it really doesn't fit anywhere good inside. So I kind of looked and said, well, I mean, it fits pretty good right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 tabs that come off and catch the back side of this tray just to hold it up a little bit. It's sturdy as hell. I drilled and tapped right into that tube, and those are like M8 125 bolts. And you can see that one's right on the edge of the curve. So I got both of those in. The battery fits good. It gives you access to both posts. This heat shield could be trimmed back a little bit, but you shouldn't need it unless you decide to arc your wrench against it. So this wire here will come up something like that. And then it'll go the other side of the tray, up in the frame rail, in there, like that. Then once the positive, I have the positive and negative cables, I'm gonna make the positive end up, and I'm gonna loom it in with these, pull it up, and I'll probably just use like existing bolt holes that I can get to, like that one I can get to. And then like that one, so I'll just use those and P-clamps. I don't know what that is. Not sure what that is. It doesn't need to be there though. I'll figure out. Oh, okay, so it's got a nut, a loose nut. Cool. So I'll take that off, and I'll run the battery cable up. Maybe, you know, you really want to get it in the frame, but I don't see anywhere to come out of the frame with the wire, unless there's a hole up top. I don't know that there is though. There's a big hole there, but you don't want to do it there. Yeah, there's a big hole right there that I could bring the cables out and get them through there, which should be enough space, I think. Maybe if I heat sleeve it, that'll be all right. Wrap it around the front to the battery, and then the fuel level will go up into the cab, across, and that'll be for the Dakota Digital stuff. Yeah, you can see like here's the wideband harness, like monstrosity long. I'll end up putting that up in there and wrapping it up. There's the fuel pressure. I already cut the harness apart, pulled the fuel pressure back. I took the gauge out of the rail. You can't really see it. You can see I got the grounds in. I got to tighten those before I forget. So, a bunch of work getting done. Just trying to get all the main power done. He's going to bring the other half of the harness up, which will have the starter trigger in it. Whatever else will be in that. I have the diagram. I just got to pull it and print it. So that I know what I'm doing. So hopefully, looks like I might be able to get through the frame rail. So I'm going to work on that now, getting through the frame rail. I'm going to put the O2 sensor in. This way, everything under here will be done. I got this is a GM, like a LS coolant sensor. It goes into the speed connector, speed sensor. And I believe this is the reverse switch, which I will probably run it backwards this way. And I don't know, because I got the speed sensor too, which I was planning on bringing it back behind here. So I might put it back behind here and then into this same harness that all these wires are in. And then this will also go up into the dashboard. The reverse, I believe, is, I have to look the reverse up. I don't remember if that's ground or power comes through the reverse light. But I'll get those into the cab for him and see how that works. So, and then I think he's got most of these tight. I just don't like that there's duct tape. That's bad. There shouldn't be duct tape on them, but yeah. So I'm gonna finish getting this loomed up, get the power cable made and ran. The positive cable, I'll probably start up this end, work my way backwards, take it back out, loom it, heat sleeve it, and then feed it back through so that we don't melt nothing. But I'm gonna get to work on that. All right, so I ended up getting the battery cables run. Yes, they are connected. They're in the frame. They come out the frame up there. Heat sleeve on them all the way to under here. Positive on there, and the negative runs up to the front on the block. Everything's tight. And then I fought with the ground bolt. You can see it up there. They wouldn't thread in. They're not long bolts. So I ended up having to take them back out, cut them, put them back in, tighten them up. So those are tight. Then, of course, the wideband has a gazillion feet of wire. So I put the sensor in, zip tied the extra wire up in there, and that's kind of as far as I got. I've been doing a little bit of looking up for Mr. Brown. I'm about to hang myself with the wire. So I am just taking my time on the wiring because I know there's other things that need to go, like the speedometer, the reverse light. I know those need to go. So I probably need to change that connector because I don't have a 2-pin connector like that. I just got to look through all the boxes I have. But I want to just loom it once and not have to undo it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at today. Battery cables are done. So technically there is power to the starter. And then he's going to bring the harness up Thursday, which will have the power wire that goes internal to turn everything on, like the ignition power. I don't know if I will run that down to here. I probably will actually run it down the firewall, probably across the subframe and up to the starter. I'll run the starter trigger and that wire that turns all the power on. or ignition, I should say. Then I just have the alternator charge wire to run to the starter, which starts to get it really clustered up. So I believe I ordered the cable. I believe I ordered other cable because that's a 0 gauge wire. I believe I ordered like a 4 or a 6 for the alternator. So I may just run the alternator wire all the way back to the battery. Don't know. Then I got the Holley main harness I still got to throw out, and I will probably end up just keeping that on top of the frame rail. Nah, I'll probably bring it in and P-clamp it right there and run it back to the battery. But see, I have more and more wires adding up, so I'll get everything in place and then I'll loom it all. But for back there, it's all loomed up. I just got to attach it to the bar and keep it up with a P-clamp. So that's where I am at today. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will have power. Excuse me. Not power. Hopefully, I'll get done running these wires, get them attached. I'll connect the fans. I'll do all that stuff. Probably weld the bung into the intake tube, put the intake air temp sensor in. I don't think I have an air filter anymore, so probably have to just order up a couple air filters or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'll get most everything done. Today is Tuesday, so tomorrow's Wednesday. He comes Thursday. Yeah, it'd be nice if I can, tomorrow, if I can get all the Holley stuff wired up, get the ECU mounted, and prime the engine. I have to drain his oil and prime the engine, which I'm probably going to have to move his oil cooler lines. They're kind of in the way of that port that I use. So, we'll see. That's it for this one, though. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Leave me a comment. As always, have a good day.